What's up, guys? Welcome back to my channel. This is Chanella tuning in from St. Catherine, Jamaica. As you can see from the title of this video, we're gonna quickly go through how I am personally planning my 2024 game plan or just vision for my life, and I thought it would be useful to share how exactly I do that, because I feel like a lot of times we make goals for ourselves. We know we have stuff that we want to do, we write them down, but we don't realize how much it's important to break down those goals to the point where it feels realistic to where you currently are right now in your life. And so if you're a young adult like me who is looking to improve your life, looking to expand your horizon, and just really get into more opportunities for yourself and really build your life, this is going to be pretty important to you. So make sure you are taking notes. I advise you to share this video with someone who you feel like also needs some assistance in building out their goals for the next year. Make sure you subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and let's get right into building. Alright guys, I'm in a software now called Miro, and Miro is basically like a huge blank canvas. You can conceptualize your ideas here. You can build out marketing funnels, business ideas. Really, you can use it to do anything when it comes on to just brainstorming. And this is the first time I'm going to be using Miro to literally build out my vision plan. I normally do a vision board, but that's usually either physically or in Canva. However, this time I decided I wanted to use Miro to do this. So what I'm going to do is just walk you guys real quickly through the strategy in which I'm using to just basically plan my game plan for 2024, and just kind of looking at where I'm at right now. So you'll see that there are two sections to this game plan, or this little mapping of my vision for 2024. And I'm going to explain what these two sections mean. So basically, this section right here is what I like to call just introspection section. So I'm looking at things that I have achieved in 2023, some of my shortcomings in 2023. I think, now that I think about it, I should probably separate this. Perfect. So I'm looking at some of my achievements and shortcomings from 2023, some new hobbies that I may have discovered from 2023 as well, and some new strengths that I may have identified for in 2023 for myself. In 2024, I'm looking at things that I possibly want for my career, or things that I need to focus on for my career, and some improvements that I need to keep in mind for 2024. And this section here is just going to be like my top 4 priorities in 2024. It's kind of play on that because 2024 and then top 4 priorities. Get it? No? Okay. Um, So this is basically the introspection section, and why it is that this is important. I think if you want to know how to go forward, you need to be able to kind of analyze where you are now, what you've been doing in the past, so that you can make better decisions going forward for yourself. This is something that can be very uncomfortable for a lot of people, because this is going to put you in a place where you have to literally stand to your own criticism, and it can go 2 ways. You can either not be honest with yourself about the situation, or you can be brutally honest with where you are right now, but you don't want to be condemning yourself. And I think that's the part that a lot of people tend to feel weary about, because they haven't figured out how to like criticize themselves without basically condemning themselves about their shortcomings. But basically, it's very important for you to analyze where you are, where you're coming from, what are the things that didn't work, and what do you need to improve in the next year. A moment of total transparency. This is something I myself never used to do. And it's actually my very first time sitting down to think about my shortcomings from the year, and just really looking at new things that I may have developed. And it's my first time as well, because we're always just thinking about, all right, what's the next thing. But I think I've come to realize that in order to move forward and to not make the same mistakes, you really have to look into what exactly didn't work this year and why didn't it work. And so, for example, maybe one of your a shortcoming you may have in 2023 was that maybe you didn't stick to the diet that you wanted for yourself. Maybe you didn't actually enroll in that course that you wanted to do in order to further your education in order to get a particular job. Maybe an achievement for 2023 is something along the lines of you were able to save that $100,000 that you wanted to save for your emergency account. Maybe that achievement could be that you graduated from UE and or any other college, and that's a pretty big deal for you. That can be an example of what your achievement is. Whatever it is, if it's important to you, if it's something that is moving the needle in your life, like you're taking a step forward, then that's an achievement. And if it's something that has prevented you from stepping into something or moving into a certain dimension, then you can count that as a shortcomings. Now, new strengths identified, I want to think can also mean new skills that you possibly would have cultivated for yourself. So, for example, maybe you learned a new language. That's a new skill. Maybe you've realized that you're more disciplined than you let on towards a particular thing. That could be a new strength that you've identified. Maybe you've realized that you work well under pressure. That could be a new strength that you have identified. Whatever it is that has to do with how you behave, your character and your personality, or just something that you can do as a skill, you want to be putting in this section. And then I thought it was pretty cool to have a section on, new hobbies that you may have for yourself, because if you've developed a new hobby, you want to keep that going. And it's very important to be doing things that make you feel like that makes you feel like, life is worthwhile, that makes you feel good. And so maybe you've realized that going to the gym is something that you genuinely enjoy and you want to keep doing that. Maybe you realize that you like gardening and you decided, okay, a hobby for me going forward is literally gardening. Whatever it is that kind of gives you a sense of fulfillment and makes you feel like you're being nurtured as a person, that is something you want to write down here and make a note of. And these are different things that will help you to understand more about who you are. I know there's always this notion of, I don't know who I am, I don't know what I want. I think a lot of times it's because we're not taking the time to sit down and really just think about us in that moment. Now, when it comes on to improvements needed, you want to look at your shortcomings, and you want to identify the ones that are probably the biggest deal for you, and make a plan or make a goal towards improving that shortcoming. So if you fall off of the diet that you initially had set for yourself, the improvements needed is that maybe you need a better strategy when it comes on to dieting, or maybe you need to change the type of diet that you had picked to begin with. If it's a case where just financially you weren't able to save what you wanted to save, then you know that you need to fix that. That's an improvement that's needed. If you didn't accomplish something like that course, then you know that you need to add that there if it's something that's still a priority for you going into 2024. So your career is what that ultimate thing in your life that you want when it comes on to making money, whatever it is that may be for you. What are some of the things that you need to do in 2024 to help you to get to the peak of that industry, or where you are right now, or what you want for yourself? So for example, if you are a photographer, that's considered that's your career. So what are some of the things that you need to do to achieve the dream that you have for yourself as a photographer? Is it that you want a studio? Is it that you want a certain reach? Like, what are some things that you think you need to do to achieve that? If it's a case where, you're probably not in the field that you want to be right now, but you want to move into that, you want to think about what are some things I need to do in order to move into the field of my career choice. That's basically that section. Having done all of this, but afterwards you should have an idea of like where you stand, where 2024 is concerned, and your top four priorities for yourself. I want you to think, just think about the entirety of your being when you're thinking about the four priorities for 2024. If it's a case where you definitely need to have more than four priorities, then you can go ahead and do that. Personally, though, I believe it's probably best to not overwhelm yourself too much, is because these are the four things that you are definitely going to nail down in 2024. So I would recommend thinking something regarding your lifestyle or your health, thinking something regarding your finances, thinking something regarding your career path, and thinking something regarding your faith. I think those are really, when you look into it, some of the main priorities that we should really probably take into consideration when it comes on to our plans. So this is basically the introspection section of the game plan, and that's basically how you break it down. For this section, what you're going to do is you're going to take the four priorities and you are going to literally break them down until you can figure out what it is that you need to do tomorrow, meaning where you are right now, in order to achieve that grand thing. And so, what I'm going to do is to try and flesh out an example just so it's a little bit more practical for you guys. So, for example, if it's a case where you want to work for myself and leave my 9 to 5 job. Let's say, for example, as a young adult, this is what you want. You want freedom. You don't want to be stuck into the 9 to 5 grind. You want to work for yourself, and eventually you want to leave your 9 to 5 job. I want you to think like an inverted pyramid. So you're looking at the accomplishment, and then then it's going down to the starting point. Basically, that's what it means. So maybe before you're able to work for yourself and leave your 9 to 5 job, you would have to be c- you'd have to be you'd have to have an established business or income stream for yourself already. Established income stream slash business for yourself. So you have, because at the end of the day you need to be making money, so you need to have an established income stream and business for yourself before you're able to can work for yourself and leave your 9 to 5. Do you want to be consistently making money outside of your 9 to 5? There's something that's important for a goal like this. And I'm gonna take the time to actually include it here because I feel like a lot of people may have a goal such as this. And this is called develop a an exit strategy. Develop an exit strategy. Before you can make a move like this, you need to literally know just exactly how you're going to survive. And how you know that is by developing a 9 to 5 exit strategy. And that's going to be pretty important for a goal like this. Now, how do you consistently make money outside of your 9 to 5? You need to have a business that, or a skill that you can monetize. Now, let's say, for example, you decided, all right, you don't want to work in as a 9 to 5. You feel like the freelancer world is for yourself. So you decided, all right, I need a new skill that I can monetize. You can decide on what that skill is. Um, but in order to get that skill, you need to become educated about it. So educate yourself. So before you educate yourself about this new skill, you probably need to seek out higher education opportunities. Before you get to seeking out higher opportunities, like you would have to literally make a decision as to whether or not this is the path you want to take. Decide on path you want to take and begin to plan. And this is probably where you are right now. By doing something like this is the first stage. Now, I want to say that each of these different steps can be broken down into different, even more steps. So, for example, once you've educated yourself about the new skill, you now need to figure out, okay, how do I monetize this new skill that you have? And so you're going to need to learn that. You're going to need to do different things in order to get to the next one, which is probably starting the business or getting another job somewhere that's a bit more flexible and gives you more freedom than a typical 9 to 5 would give you. And then if it's a case where you decided you wanted to lean into, like starting a business instead of freelancing, you need to learn now about literally what it means to build a business. And so you're gonna find that even when you break down the bigger goals like this, you'll still need to intervene in the micro goals underneath the macro one. Because sometimes to get to the other step, it's gonna take a while and it's gonna take strategy. But the aim of doing this is to show you what is my starting point, what is the next step after I've completed this starting point. And that's basically how you want to break it down. And so this can be considered your general game plan for 2024 that kind of helps you to figure out, all right, this is where I'm at. The next step I need to accomplish is this. And that will help to give you some form of clarity as you go into the new year. And you can also use it as a way to hold yourself accountable to each step. And that's basically it, guys. That is my game plan template for 2024. And I really hope that this will help to kind of just inspire you, motivate you a bit, kind of give you some clarity on how you can make your own vision board or vision plan or game plan for 2024. So make sure you dedicate your plans to the Lord. As the book of Proverbs says, when we dedicate our plans to the Lord, He will establish our path. And if we seek the Lord first, He will add everything unto us, as is said in the book of Matthew. So I want us to keep that posture in our heart as we make the plans for our lives going forward. As I said in the tutorial, this is really help to hold you accountable. This is to help you to figure out what's your starting point. I by no means want you to just like come down too hard on yourself. I'm telling you to see where you at and decide on how you want to move forward based on just how everything went for you in 2023. Give yourself the best shot that you can give yourself when it comes on to your goals and your dreams. And remember, if you falter somewhere along the line, all you gotta do is get up again and keep moving forward. I know it's easier said than done, but whatever you need to do to help to hold you accountable, whether it's that getting a trusted partner, whether that is changing up some things in your environment, whether that is just educating yourself more in a skill to help boost your confidence in an area. You just have to take the plunge and give yourself the best chance that you can give yourself despite the odds. Because if you do nothing now, nothing is going to change. And really and truly, that's the reality. But you have to start where you are. You cannot wait until you get perfect. You have to start from where you are right now, even if you feel like you're a mess. And that's really my 2 cents. So thank you guys so much for watching. I really hope that this video really helped someone. If it did, please share it with your community. It might also help a friend of yours. And if you haven't already, please consider subscribing to my channel to get more access to videos about self-improvement, about Christianity, entrepreneurship, things along that lines. Give this video a like, guys, if you enjoyed it. And once again, thank you so much for watching. This is Chanella, and I am now tuning out of St. Catherine, Jamaica. Bye.